Hi, all. This is Dr. J coming to you from Long Island, New York, where the temperature is 82 degrees. Gorgeous day. We're lucky enough to have the big guy with us. Big guy, you with us?
Yes, indeed, I am, sir.
Okay, so we have the big guy with us. The big guy is a big Met fan and very knowledgeable of taxes. So we have a multitude of subjects we can cover, not to mention stocks, which is one of our favorite subjects. So let's start with the big guy's impression of the Met game last night. You were there, right, big guy?
Yes, I was. And let me say, uh, when I found out who the starting pitchers were, I said to my brother who was going to me to the game, "Are you sure you wanted to see Scherzer versus Matz?" And he says, "Well, it's bound to be a quick game. We might even see a no hitter." So we went.
Yeah, that was far from a no-hitter, plenty of action.
The weather was perfect. It was really nice. The game moved along well. Uh, every time Washington scored, the Mets came back to within a run or two, and that was the pattern of the whole game. The Mets had a chance, the whole game. It was a fast game. It was an interesting game. The Mets lost, but it was an enjoyable experience to go to that game.
You stayed for the whole
I
game?
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, it was 5-3, and then they made it 5-4 in the eighth. You have to stay. Uh,
Usually
my,
us fogies leave after the seventh inning.
did you excuse me?
Usually us old fogies leave after the seventh inning.
It depends upon. Let me put it this way: if it was a pennant race game, I would have stayed till midnight. But
Uh-huh.
the game did not mean very much. But
No.
it was a fast game. It was early. I knew that we'd be out before 10 o'clock,
Well,
which
I
is
got my Met cap on, and you're inviting me to one of your games, right?
that is correct. In August because it should be nice and warm.
Ah,
Of
that's
course,
great.
with our luck, it could be thunder showers that night.
We're gonna broadcast live from City Field, Dr.
Oh,
J at 11,
oh
even if it's
God.
at 7.
you know, the
Show everybody what the beautiful City Field looks like.
City Field is very nice. I personally like the old Shea Stadium a little bit better, uh, but I have no problem with City Field. Uh, the old Yankee Stadium I like better than the new Yankee Stadium. Um, Camden Yards in Baltimore to me is the best stadium in the country. I haven't been to that many, but for example, Nationals Field in D.C., which is fairly new, it's just so. I understand the best one is PNC Park in Pittsburgh, and the people who designed that also designed City Field. Well, City Field's pretty good.
Hey,
It's
big
pretty.
guy, I got to ask you a question about a trade. Everybody's fantasizing a Mets Yankee trade, DeGrom
Mhm.
for Gleyber Torres and throw in Bird, maybe. Do you think that kind of trade could ever happen?
Torres is off the table according to the Yankees. It could not
And
happen.
you know that's not true.
Well, that's what they said. Uh, there's a left-handed number one pitching prospect in the minors for the Yankees that everybody wants. They're not inclined to give that up. Uh, I could see if the Yankees somehow get Machado, then their young third baseman Andujar would be an excellent trading chip to another team. I could see that. The Yankees, I think, really need a starting pitcher more than they need another big bat. But
Right. And DeGrom would virtually assure them the pennant, I think.
yes, but the problem is that if Dwight Gooden, Darryl Strawberry, David Cohn, they all went to the Yankees and got rings. Uh, I don't see the Wilpons willing to give the Yankees such a big benefit unless, I mean, they got just about every prospect the Yankees ever had. I don't see them doing that.
If I'm Wilpon, I would make that trade, Gleyber Torres and Bird for DeGrom.
I wouldn't. No, not enough.
Not enough. From the Met fan perspective, not enough.
It goes like this. How can I put it? They would have to be so blown away for DeGrom. Syndergaard, that's another possibility. They might take a little bit less. They have to rebuild. There's no question about it. They'll go. I think they should not get rid of DeGrom and Syndergaard because they're still under contract for a while, and they can build around them.
Yeah, but they're not going to be able to sign both of them. Too much do-re-mi.
Sure, they will. It depends upon the years that they have left on their contract and when the new one starts. And if they have young players, they're going to be cheap. Cespedes' contract could be up.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible.
They are spending money again. I mean, their payroll is almost as high as the Yankees. Look at the difference in the results. I guess you got to blame the Sandy Alderson to some extent. You wish him well.
I personally blame the Mets ownership.
You also blame the ownership, but they are spending the money now.
Well, let me put it this way: Nelson Doubleday insisted that they sign Mike Piazza, despite all the objections from the Wilpons, who didn't want to spend the money. If they hadn't signed Mike Piazza, then many more years would have been a total disaster. I understand that Jeff Wilpon is a horrible boss, that he rules his offices very poorly with the by like fear rather than anything else. That's what they said in the media a number of years ago. Well, I don't think that they're great owners. That's the best way to put it. The worst owner probably is the guy who owns Peter Angelo. He's the worst one.
I guess we're not blessed with great owners in New York on any sports franchise. Look at Madison Square Garden. We have less than the best ownership there.
The Maras have always been extremely good owners.
Cablevision ownership.
Hey, look! If you want to become ambassador to the United Kingdom, that's better than just sitting around in the Meadowlands waiting for the Jets to get good.
Yeah. You know what, Big Guy? I'm going to take a quick look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Everyone wants to get a quick report of the Dow, the NASDAQ 100, and the S&P 500. Okay. So let's go into screen share for a moment.
All right.
And we'll pull that up.
Mm-hmm.
We're screen sharing pretty nicely now. And I'm going to go into finance.yahoo.com.
Mm-hmm.
And click on Dow Jones Industrial Averages. Finance.yahoo.com is an excellent site, and it's, free.
Well, I go to my brokerage account. And
I'm sure, but you don't want to give them free publicity.
No.
All right, so finance.yahoo.com, and we'll just click on the Dow 30. We'll get a chart right away. We'll do a year-to-date chart. It's good, I guess.
All I care about is what it is today.
Well, today we're up 83 points so far, 0.23%.
Dow doesn't mean that much. The S&P is far.
All right, let's also compare to the S&P and the NASDAQ.
What are they at today?
Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, I'm charting it on the same.
How are the FANG stocks and Apple doing?
Well, I can chart Apple as well. In fact, let's chart Apple as well. Apple. I don't want to chart IXIC. I want to chart the NASDAQ 100 better. I think it's a better comparison.
Yeah, makes sense.
NDX. And you should find very close chart between NDX and Apple, I would think. NDX is a caret sign.
Well,
I gotta find the caret sign on your computer. Caret sign. NDX. All right, N. There it is, right here, NASDAQ 100.
Well, Apple must be a good part of the,
Oh, just look at that. They're practically the same chart. You see, the Dow is this color, the deep blue, and it was started out above the other two indices, above Apple and the NDX, and now it's trading below the two of them. For year to date, we have
be flat.
We have up 17%. The NDX, Apple 12.7%, and year to date 6.7% for the Dow.
Oh, the Dow
that's not terrible.
It must have been the
last. Let's see 6 months. 6 months, however, it looks a lot worse.
That's what I was thinking about. 6 months.
Yeah, the Dow is down 3%.
Yeah.
While Apple is almost equal to the NASDAQ 100 at about 9%. You see that up on top? The purple color and the light blue. You see that they're together. The light blue is the NASDAQ 100, and the purple color is Apple at 191.57.
The S&P probably is pretty much break even, I would think.
Yeah. The Dow is 25,010. It's poked its head above 25,000. Dr. J is calling for a turnaround before 25,400 because I charted from the highs of January. The highs of January were right here. Let me draw trend lines, a couple of trend lines. So if you go back to the highs in January on the Dow, and we draw, let's say, the trend line right here from January 26th. The high was 26,616, by the way. We're not far away from an all-time high on the Dow.
What concerns me is all the geopolitical things that are going on.
Yeah.
Whatever trends, whatever charts you have, events in the geopolitical realm can totally turn things topsy-turvy.
I just want you to take a look at this trend line. Is interesting. It shows the Dow on a descending trend line, and it broke away from that line right around at the same time, really, that Apple broke away. You notice Apple has 2 touches of the trend line that I drew for the Dow. The Dow has 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touches, and broke away from it somewhere around here, mid-April, April 12th. Apple still was touching that lower trend line and broke away a little later, April 27th. So the Apple rally started later than the Dow rally, but the Dow rally never really took off. It flattened.
In your opinion, do you think Apple still has more upside?
Well, just looking at the chart, it looks like the NASDAQ 100 and Apple are the place to be as opposed to the Dow. However, it could be that the discrepancy that we're seeing means one of 2 things. Either the Dow is right and we're about to enter a bear market, perhaps, that this top. You know what? Let me change the Dow to a candlestick graph. Hold on with me 1 minute. I just want to change the line graph to candlesticks. It's easier to follow.
You have me.
Now you can see the Dow clearly. You see it? The Dow with the candles. I just want to make sure I have the latest day on the Dow. Yeah, okay. So I pushed it over the chart a little bit so we can see clearly Dow has been trending up. since the low that it made on 628. 628, it put in a low at 23,997, about 24,000. We're 2,000 points above that already, with a very nice trend line. It's sort of almost like a V shape. If you look at the relative high that it turned in June 11th at 25,402, it's almost like it's like a V, the angle, about a 45-degree angle, a little less steep here. So the angle going down was a little more steep than the angle going up, which is usually the case. Now the question is, does it take out the June 11th high at 25,402, or does it put in a turning point somewhere today or tomorrow, somewhat below that 25,4? It's at 25,022. Dr. J, namely me, was saying somewhere between that 25,000 and 25,400, there's a likelihood that we make another lower high, or maybe even a double top, which would prove bearish. So in order to get what I call a continuation rally, we have to take out that 25,402. If that happens, we will not have a continuation rally. We'll have a stampede. The bulls will be in total control, and we will take out the January 26th high of 26,616. So this number is very critical. Say the high at 611 has to be taken out in the bull case. If you see a turnaround today or tomorrow, probably Monday rather, then if Monday is weak and we get a major red candle going down on Monday, I would think we would take out, instead of taking out the top, we take out this low on June 28th of 23,997. So I think we would give back the entire 2,000 points plus a lot more if we fail in the next few days to take out the June 11th high. So that's Dr. J's feeling. We could draw another trend line, and just for the hell of it, this one would be a more recent one because this trend line is
Dr. J, big guy. I got to get going.
Okay, then we're going to call it. Dr. J is going to say goodbye. I'm going to come back and do stop screen sharing.
I'm closing.
It was good having you, big guy.
Okay.
So big guy has to leave, and Dr. J will take that as a cue to continue this discussion on Monday. Bye-bye, big guy.